for examination of the UK economy last year, which was published on the 1st of July, the IMF said this about the UK economy. It said, growth is recovering faster than expected. Inflation has fallen rapidly to target. And then you became Chancellor on the 5th of July, and the budget came out at the end of October. And I was very struck by the difference between the report that the Office for Budget Responsibility put out last October and the one that was published last week with your spring statement. In those 5 months, their forecast for inflation this year has gone from 2.6% to 3.2%. Obviously, you highlighted the fact that their growth forecast has halved from 2% to 1%. They're also expecting borrowing, UK borrowing, to be £47.5 billion higher in the forecast period. They're expecting unemployment to go from 4.1% to 4.5%, despite the welfare reforms that were announced alongside the spring statement. They're expecting debt interest to be over £30 billion higher over the next 5 years. They're expecting at the end of the forecast period for there to be more children in poverty than in their last report. This is also awful April. Bills are going up for households across the country. We've got tariffs, no doubt, being announced later today. I just wondered to what extent you recognise now that business confidence and consumer confidence took a real hit after your budget in October.
Well, you started by talking about the IMF, and the IMF were very supportive of what we did in the budget last year to put the public finances back on a firm footing, and they were also very supportive of the fiscal rules that we announced, both to bring stability to the public finances but also to unlock private investment. So I was very appreciative of the support both from Kristalina Georgieva and Gita Gopinath at the IMF for the work that we are doing to bring stability back to the economy, and through our modern supply side approach to bring growth back. And you mentioned the OBR forecasts around growth for this year. Well, as you will well know, the OECD and others have downgraded a range of countries in the G7 and the developed world. But the OBR have also revised up growth in 2026, 2027, 28 and 29, and they forecast that by the end of the forecast period the economy will be bigger than they forecast the Conservatives' last budget, and indeed bigger than they forecast the budget that I delivered last autumn. So if you take it in the round, the OBR are saying the economy will be bigger. They put that down to the planning reforms